The Green Lantern Pheasant Tail. Start by mashing the barb on a size 12 U101 nymph hook. Then thread 2 small beads through the point of the hook. I like to use the color green in this dressing. Then get the hook and bead situated firmly in the jaws of your vise. Then load a bobbin with 14-knot black Veevus thread. Start your thread slightly behind the beads, about 1/3 of the hook shank back from the eye, and wrap down towards where the hook starts to bend. Now go to the pheasant tail. First, strip about 6 or so fibers off. Try to keep their tips aligned. You can either cut these off or grab them with your offhand and peel them from the stem. If there are any misaligned fibers, you can pull them to try to get them aligned, or just take them out entirely. Then, measure a tail about 1/2 to a whole hook shank in length, and transfer that measurement with the points pointing off the bend of the hook at the end of the hook shank. Then go ahead and bring your thread right behind the beads, or that 1/3 point that we were talking about. Bring your thread over the 2 glass beads, pulling them and bring your thread right behind the eye. Then take the pheasant tail and wrap it over the beads as well, making sure that it's right on top of the beads. Tie that down and then cut it off. Then put your thread right back behind the beads. Now go to some small Chartreuse ultra wire. Go ahead and cut a 5 or 6 inch piece off and tie it on the far side and then pull it over to the near side as you wrap back towards the bend. Now go to your pheasant tail again. This time, again, get maybe a little bit more, 8 to 10 fibers. No need to keep the tips aligned at this point. You can even cut them off to make tying easier. Then go ahead and tie the tips in right at the back end of the fly. Then bring your thread up to behind the beads and wrap back down again. Now, start making touching wraps with the pheasant tail. Wrapping with your thread will help keep the pheasant tail in a tight bundle as you wrap up. Once you reach behind the beads, go ahead and take a couple wraps over the butt ends of the pheasant tail to secure them to the hook. Then, you can either cut off the butt ends right here if you'd like, but again, I like to extend my thread over the beads and do the same thing as we did before. This kind of helps create a bulkier wing case and help secure the beads a little bit more. But this isn't necessary. You could even cut them off behind the beads if you would like to do so. That's just the way I like to tie it. Now this time, go back to your pheasant tail one last time, and this time get about 12 or so, making sure the tips are aligned. Measure a length of the tips about a thorax in length, and tie them right by the eye of the hook. Then wrap back towards the back of the beads again. At this point, you can start counter-wrapping your wire. You don't have to. You can wrap it with the pheasant tail if you like. I just like the extra durability that counter-wrapping gives you. After 4 or 5 wraps, you should reach the back end of the bead. At this point, you can go ahead and tie the wire off. You can wrap over or under the extending butt ends of the pheasant tail, and then go ahead and helicopter your wire off. Then again, for the last time, extend your thread over the beads, and kind of push the fibers back, little prep work, and you can even kind of splay them out to either side. Try to get roughly equal amounts. Then pull the butt ends of the pheasant tail over, and pull and push the tips back on either side. These will create legs. Go ahead and tie that down, securing your progress so far. Take a couple wraps in front of the butt ends before cutting them off. And at this point, you can build up a nice head and even whip finish. You should have roughly the same amount of legs on either side, and they should extend just slightly past the back end of the bead, or thorax. Then you can cut your thread off. It's okay if you have like 7 fibers on one end and 8 on the other. Trout can't count. Now you can finish the fly here, but if you want some extra durability, you can go to some Z-ment or Sally Hansen's and kind of cover the thread wraps of the head and the thorax, or even the whole fly if you'd like. And that's it, that's the fly.